When I was 17, my friends and I broke into the old Fairchild Theatre downtown. It had been abandoned since the fire in '73. Half the building had collapsed, but the stage remained, charred and skeletal. Everyone said it was haunted. We brought flashlights, beer, and enough bravado to drown our fear. At first, it was fun. We dared each other to go on stage, took stupid pictures in the burnt seats, laughed too loud to hide how nervous we were. Then the lights died. All of them. Our flashlights, our phones, dead. As if something had sucked all the power from the air. In the pitch black, we heard footsteps. Software. Barefoot. Pacing across the old stage. We called out, thinking it was another group of idiots like us. But the footsteps kept circling. And then we heard laughter. High. Giggling. Wrong. We ran for the entrance. The front doors were closed, chained from the outside. Impossible. We had left them wide open. The laughter grew louder. Closer. Someone, or something, was coming down the aisle toward us. I kicked out a side window and we scrambled through. When I looked back, I saw her, standing on the stage, a girl in a tattered ballet costume. Her skin ash gray, her mouth torn wide in a permanent grin. She waved at me. I never went back. But sometimes, in the silence between dreams, I hear her laughter echoing, and the faint creak of footsteps, pacing just outside my door. Отлично. Продолжаю в том же духе. Еще 3 длинные атмосферные истории. Ближе к 3500 символам каждая. Без лишних вставок. 11 laps формат. Все по правилам. Next story. There's a pond deep in the woods behind my old hometown. Locals called it still water. No one swam there. No one fished. It was just there. Perfectly flat. No ripples even on windy days. Animals wouldn't go near it. Birds never sang around it. When I was 15, my friends dared me to touch the water. I made my way down the narrow, overgrown path, heart hammering louder than my footsteps. When I reached the shore, the surface reflected the trees and sky perfectly, like a sheet of glass. Not a single insect buzzed. I knelt down, reached out. The moment my fingers touched the surface, everything changed. The reflection rippled, but not like water. It bent, like something thick and alive had stirred just beneath. Then I saw them, hands, pale, rotting, reaching up from under the surface, grabbing, clawing. I stumbled back, tripped, and fell into the mud. The water stayed still, but my reflection didn't. It stood there, grinning, waving. I bolted back to town. That night, I dreamed of the pond, standing at its edge, watching dozens of reflections moving on their own, smiling, beckoning. One by one, they stepped out of the water. I woke up screaming. I moved away a year later, but sometimes, when I pass by puddles, I catch glimpses of my reflection, smiling before I do, and when I check the soles of my shoes, they're wet, even on dry days. Next story. My grandfather used to tell me about the Watchers. He said they lived in the woods beyond our farm, tall and thin, with skin like stretched paper and mouths they never closed. They don't speak, he warned. They listen. He made us hang wind chimes around the property. Said if the chimes ever stopped moving, when the wind blew, it meant a watcher was near. I didn't believe him, until the night the chimes fell silent. The wind was howling, trees bending under it, but not a single chime moved. That's when I saw it. Standing at the tree line. At first I thought it was just a dead tree, gnarled and broken. Then it moved. Slow, jerky, like a puppet with tangled strings. Its head twisted at an unnatural angle as it watched me. I ran back to the house, locked every door, every window. But the Watchers don't need doors. I woke up hours later to the sound of chimes inside the house, soft, fragile, coming from the hallway. I stayed under the covers, frozen, until dawn. When I finally crept out, I found a chime swinging gently in the kitchen, tied to the doorknob. The front door was wide open. Grandpa said we were marked now. That night, he packed up and left. I haven't seen him since, but every night, without fail, I hear the faint sound of chimes, growing closer. Next story, I started waking up with bruises on my arms, small ones at first, like fingerprints. I live alone, no pets, no sleepwalking. I set up a camera. The next morning, there were more bruises, deeper, darker. I checked the footage. At 2:46 a.m., my bedroom door creaked open. Nothing visible walked in, but the blanket moved, sank down, as if something had climbed onto the bed. My arm lifted into the air, twisted, pressed down hard, and then I saw it, just for a second. A face. When my dog died right beside mine, I couldn't let go. Inches from the camera. He was my best friend for 10 years. 2 days after I buried him, I heard scratching at the back door. I opened it. Nothing. Just paw prints. Muddy. Leading inside. I checked the house. No intruders. But his favorite toy was missing from the shelf. That night, I heard growling under the bed. Low. Familiar. I turned on the light. Nothing there. In the morning, his leash was lying by the door. I called a priest. He told me dogs don't haunt people, but something else might pretend to be your dog. He was right, because the next time I heard scratching, it came from inside the walls, and the growl didn't sound like him anymore. Next story, I used to work night shifts at a roadside diner. Mostly truckers and late-night travelers. But one guy, he came in every Wednesday at 2:14 a.m. Never missed it. Ordered black coffee. Never touched it. Just sat in the booth, staring at the same corner of the ceiling. After 3 months, I asked him why. He said, "That's where I died." I laughed. He didn't. Said his truck crashed on this very stretch of road in '92. Said he crawled to the diner, back when it was just rubble, and waited. "I'm still waiting," he whispered, "for someone to remember me." Last week, he didn't show up. His photo's now taped under that corner of the ceiling. No one knows who put it there. Next story. In the town where I grew up, there's a bridge no one crosses after dark. They say it's haunted by a woman in white, searching for her missing child. As kids, we dared each other to walk across it. One night, I took the dare. Halfway across, I heard sobbing, then whispering. Then someone grabbed my hand. I turned. No one there. But I felt tiny fingers. A child's. I ran. When I got home, there was a note in my pocket. "Now you're her child, and every birthday since." I hear her singing lullabies outside my window. Next story, I inherited my uncle's cabin after he passed. He was a quiet man. No family. Lived alone in the woods. In the attic, I found hundreds of cassette tapes, each labeled by date. Curious, I played one. It was hours of silence, until the end. Then, whispering, "Don't listen to them," a voice hissed. "They lie." I played another, different voice, same warning. Some tapes had screams, others had static. One just had heavy breathing for 3 hours. But the last tape was different. It had my name, and a recording of me opening the attic door. I hadn't been in the cabin more than 20 minutes. Next story. We found a locked door in our basement during renovations. Heavy steel, no key. My husband wanted to ignore it, but I was curious. We hired someone to break it open. Behind it, a narrow hallway, and at the end, another door. This one was wooden, and on it was carved, "If you open this, you agree to stay." We thought it was a prank, old owners being weird. So we opened it. Inside, a small room, a mirror, and a chair facing it. That's it. But when I looked in the mirror, my reflection was smiling. I wasn't. And when we tried to leave, the hallway was gone. Just 4 walls, and the chair, and the mirror, still smiling. Next story. 3 years ago, I took a photo of my friends while camping. Just a fun shot. Around the fire, smiling. When I got home, I looked at the picture again. There was someone else in the photo, in the trees, watching us. No one remembered seeing anyone there. I asked around. A park ranger said, "You weren't the first to see her." I said her. He nodded. "She died out there. A girl, got lost, never found. But sometimes she finds people." I deleted the photo. 2 nights later, my phone turned on by itself. The photo was back. Edited. Everyone's faces scratched out, except hers. And she was closer this time. Next story. When I was a kid, I had an imaginary friend named Milo. We played together, talked. He was my best friend. My parents thought it was cute until I started locking my bedroom door at night. I told them Milo didn't like being ignored. I forgot about him as I got older, but last month I found an old box in the attic. My childhood drawings. One showed me sleeping, and a tall shadow with white eyes standing at the foot of my bed. I remembered drawing that and writing his name underneath, Milo. That night, I heard scratching at my door and a voice I hadn't heard in 20 years. "Wanna play again?" Next story, I work at a funeral home. One night, I was doing paperwork when I heard knocking. It came from one of the viewing rooms. I checked. Empty. Lights off. The knocking came again. 3 slow taps. I followed the sound to a closed casket. I opened it. The body was gone. Only a note inside. Wrong casket. I ran to the security room, checked the cameras. The hallway footage between 2:14 and 2:17 was missing. The casket, still empty. 2 weeks later, someone left flowers at our door with a card. "Thanks for letting me out.